I think it's more or less an open secret that there probably are discriminatory practices, especially at the law review and even in admissions. And so, if the Trump DOJ wants to come after Harvard, I'm sure they would be able to find something. I think it's a very narrow view of equity that people in the admissions office and in the administration of the school here have, and I think there probably is a lot of discriminatory practices that are getting swept under the rug for now. I don't know if it'll come from journalists or come from a prosecution or lawsuit or whatever, but I think there's probably a lot to see once you look under the hood.
I agree with the critics. I think you shouldn't judge people by their race or by sex. I think that's wrong, and it's wrong according to the Supreme Court decision recently that really has had a great effect on Harvard and other universities.
I do not sympathize with the claims that some people have put forward. I think that this is mainly coming from both white and Asian American students that were not accepted into Harvard despite having very good grades. I think that while I can see their grievances, no one is entitled to enter any university, no one is entitled to a spot, so I think that the claim is unfounded.
Do I think that Harvard's bureaucratic systems are like optimally producing, whatever some ideal of genuine diversity at Harvard could be? No, probably not. I think that's a flaw of many, systems and corporations that try to, establish things through measures of bureaucracy.
I think this university has gone through a lot of conflict in the student body. I think that a lot of this concerns are warranted. I'm sure any kind of proceedings are possible. I think a lot of these actions seems very politicized and targeted. I know that there's talk of visa freezes. There's talk of nonprofit status being revoked, and I wouldn't be surprised if these kinds of actions are considered.
Harvard has found out what it means to lean one way, and especially to the left. That was a great mistake, and I'm glad to see it being corrected. The Harvard administration under President Garber is moving slowly but cautiously towards that goal. And so I think the basis for some kind of agreement between the Trump administration and the Harvard administration is there.
The question is whether, if Harvard wants to take seriously its commitment to intellectual diversity and intellectual on that side of the thing, if they want to do that, then yeah, they have to start letting in people from sort of, the heartland of America. The question is, how are they going to, recruit those people? How are they going to get them here? That's a bigger question, but I don't think you're going to take the elitism out of Harvard.
I think that by equity, what they try to do is try to get a sense of whether a student had some difficulties, either because of their belonging to some groups, but it could also be because of having a harsh upbringing that in essence didn't give them the same chances, and trying to account for that. So it's basically saying we're not going to look only at the transcript and the grades that students might have, because that might miss some other difficulties that they had.
I have a lot of classmates from very different political viewpoints and a lot of different cultural backgrounds. I don't know how the university does it in the admission process, but I think the result was something that I found very intellectually rewarding, and I'm sure a lot of my classmates would think the same.
Personally, I'm grateful for the Harvard admissions office. I brought my own kinds of diversity here when I came here, just from my hometown and my home life and sort of who I am. And, over the last 50, 60 years, Harvard has done its best to do better and better across many levels of diversity. Like race, gender, obviously, and religion, a lot of other factors. But one thing I do wish I saw more of here was more class diversity. There are so many socioeconomic and privilege factors that allow kids to get tutors and feeder schools and stuff. And so while Harvard is very diverse on many axes, it does kind of feel like 70% of the kids here came from the same kinds of high schools, the same kinds of zip codes.
If there are negative practices going on here, or discriminatory practices going on, they've probably been going on for a long time. So I don't know if the school is as concerned as maybe they should be.